On a time, there was a little girl living in a farm on a small island. The farm was very safe, and there were lots of animals living with the little girl. She had one of her best friends, which is a cow. The cow always said to the girl, "There are many dangers in the jungle, like crocodiles, snakes. They will swallow you. And ants and insects, they will bite you. So remember that, never walk into the jungle and never trust what a snake said." Days go by. One day, a typhoon came and destroyed the front gate. The girl was washed by the flood into the dangerous place, the jungle. The girl didn't know what to do. She was scared, starving, and feeling cold. And the sky is getting dark. When the girl was lonely and felt helpless, there comes a snake. The snake said to the little girl, "What are you doing here? Are you get lost? Just follow me. Let's walk into the jungle. I live there, and I will find some food for you. Just follow me." The girl was worried because what the cow always said, how dangerous jungle is, but she had no choice, just following the snake into the deep in the jungle. The view in jungle was totally different from the farm. And the land is muddy. There are so many strange plants that the little girl had never seen before. And the girl is wondering what to do if the snake lied to her and wants to swallow her. So she secretly picked up a stone as a weapon, just in case. Don't know how far they went. Finally, they arrived at the snake's house. Wow, there are already a monkey and a crocodile waiting over there. The crocodile shared the warmest spot with the girl, and the monkey cooked a big meal for her. The girl was really appreciated for what they'd done for her. After dinner, the girl asked Yulan, "The cow always said that there are so many dangers in jungle and never believed on the snake. But the fact is, all of you are very kind to me." The snake said to the girl, "Don't never let someone else's opinion define you. Seeing is believing." 4 of them spent the night, and on the next day spring, the snake led the girl walk through the jungle back to the road to the farm. The girl's life is back to normal, but she will never forget what happened in the jungle. On above story, I was that little girl, and the story metaphor is what I had experienced in India. Several years ago, I went to India alone. At that time, there were many India rape and violence news on the media, and I also lost my phone and the train tickets for the remaining trips. But I was so lucky to meet so many people there to help me. Some of them gave me a mobile phone for free so that I can continue to complete my trip and return to my country, Taiwan, safely. I was so appreciative for what they done to help me. And I will always remember what a beautiful India lady she said when I asked her if India is a safety country for women to travel alone. She replied, yes, rape news is real, but they are also happened on other countries too. Because India has a large populations, and most people are very kind. But the problem is media like to report negative news, which makes people misunderstand on us. Don't believe everything you see on media. Believe on what you see. Seeing is believing. That is one I learned from the journey. Toastmaster.
You about my dream life at the moment. It's not going to happen because I'd like to travel, and traveling is not too practical an option in the current world climate. However, 10 years ago, I had two daughters going through high school, and my major goal in life was to make sure that they were on a good track. I believe I selected a good school for them. However, I would say as a parent in the school, they looked to the parents a great deal to support the school. So I became very involved in the process of educating my children in the role of a support person at the school. And this is actually how I am sitting in this meeting with you today, because my oldest daughter competed in high school debate. And in the US, in high school debate, most of the judges are parents like myself. So I used to go to school one day a year, maybe for 5 hours, and they would run us through the speech and debate events, demonstrate what they are, and teach us how to judge them. And it was after my daughter graduated high school, I found I really missed this. So I started going to Toastmasters meetings as a guest because I just enjoy hearing people speak. And at the club I attended, they eventually, after a year of coaxing, got me to join the club. And now I'm learning to do the speaking rather than evaluate the speaking. And this is a pretty challenging journey. It takes me a lot of time to put my speeches together, but I have absolutely no regrets.
It's my honor to switch to your channel, Naomi. Congratulations, Naomi. You have already successfully used your opening to attract your audience attention. This is a very, very successful beginning. And second, I would like also to congratulate you for offering so many interesting slides and to have us focus on what you would like to say about your speech. And thirdly, you have provided very sufficient and interesting information about who you are when you were young and still you are still young now in your childhood, in your youth, and now as an adult. And it is very informative, and then we can get a very basic understanding about you. So basically this is a very successful self-introduction as a had an icebreaker. So you did break the ice. So we know now you know you better. But my suggestion for you is first, my suggestion for you is that maybe you want to get a more eye-catching title about your story, such as when I see your organization, maybe you can use your title as from a dreamer to a realizer, or from a dreamer to a helper, or from a dreamer to an implementer. depends on how you define the later stage of your development. At the beginning, you said that you like to read novels, you want to be a detective, you want to be a millennial, and or you want to be a ninja, you want to be a huge star, but none of this dream had come true, unfortunately. But eventually, right now, you are doing something like being a teacher, and you are like a social worker, and then you are also like, yeah, I don't know. So maybe you want to define the later stage of yourself. So maybe a helper, you want to help people, you want to help your students, something like that. So that would be my first suggestion. And my second suggestion is that since you use a lot of visual aids, so we cannot see your body language, that's a pity. That's a pity. And then also, since you just described who you are, if you could offer us some of the interesting stories, maybe some anecdotes, and create some vocal varieties that would make your story more interesting, more attractive. So again, congratulations as the very first speech at Toastmasters. You have done an outstanding job. You have already outperformed many of us. Congratulations, Toastmasters.
Again, Amanda, thank you for your exemplary speech this evening. I'm thrilled to be evaluating you, and I feel I've been given the easiest task because you did such a wonderful job of your speech. So all I have to do is sit here and point out why it was so wonderful, but I do have two suggestions for you. Firstly, I love a story with a moral. There is always value that we can convey to our fellow Toastmasters if there's a moral, and your story had a moral. Secondly, your body language was amazing. I almost felt without the words I could follow your story. And body language is extremely important. And I think particularly in a sort of bilingual club like this, because perhaps if somebody's not quite grasping your English, your hand signals and your body gestures are going to help them understand what you're saying. Secondly, your graphics were exquisite. They just came on. We could see you the whole time. They were very supportive. And they had that wonderful light feeling of your title, Intro Wonderland. I felt like I was in Disney or somewhere like that as you were giving your speech. Thirdly, I am absolutely intrigued by this story. I wish I could have a conversation with you and ask how you wove this story together, because what I am hearing from where I sit is a story that's very famous in India about the snake and the rope. And I don't know if in India you learned that story, but it's embedded in what you shared today. And you seem to have wound it into a fairy tale folklore speech as well, which just blew my mind. I could not believe the skill with which you wound your story together. It was absolutely exquisite. And then I have some guidance for you in terms of improvements. And this was where I personally was struggling to find your improvements. I would say what I personally find a challenge to try to look at the camera. Most of the time you were not looking into the camera. It's the devil's own job to master this skill, but you could do that. And there's one small point I'd like to make. When you give a speech, you need to capture your audience from the minute you start. There's two things, in my opinion, that you can do. One is you engage them in a story, or two is that you ask a question to make their mind start working. You chose a story, but your story was a rather long story. And for this reason, I would have been inclined to preempt it, even with a question. Perhaps you could have said, do you believe everything you read? Just to get our minds thinking, and then you deliver your beautiful story and then your real world situation. So my two improvements for you would be try to look at the camera and maybe just edge it up a little bit with that question. Otherwise, fantastic job. I feel honored to have judged you this morning. It has been an absolute pleasure seeing you. Thank you.
you. So let me recall the word of the day, a dream come true. And it's pity for that I didn't hear any of you to use the idiom today. But let's come to the next. From the Monica say homophonic. Homo means the same. It's 字跟 homo is the same. And the phonic is a sound. So homophonic means the same sound. And she gave us an example about Greece and Greece. And Anisha, 健忘症, forgets things easily. And humorous sentence. It's pitiful that she misspelled the word on her PowerPoint. And next one, speaker Renee, show respect to your mother. She says show respect for your mother. Maybe you can correct it to be show respect to someone for something. And we start from scratch, start from the beginning. And next one, he is as good as God. Renee's son is as good as God. The idiom is usually describe children, a kid, and means very 脾气很好, and strength and weakness. And from Naomi's speech, aside from, I think the sentence is very, very good. Aside from something, I also teach kids, means besides, 包含前面那一句跟后面那一句. Make a lie to them. I think it's more easy for the year to use a tell a lie. It's more grammatically correct. I think so. And if you want to be a good teacher, you should learn a lie. You should learn to lie. I remember it's a quote from Naomi next time. And my friend recommend me to join it. Sometimes because in Chinese, suggest and recommend also means similar. And sometimes we can say, my friend suggest me to do something, but it's incorrect. We can only say, my friend suggested to me that I should join it. And next one from Amanda's speech, there comes a snake. I think it sounds more, it sounds better for a year, says, here comes a snake. And seeing is believing. 眼见为凭. And next one, I was appreciated for what they have done for me. And I think we can use, I appreciate all they have done for me, not use I was appreciated for, because it's a passive way of saying that. It means I was appreciated. 我被欣赏，我被感激，这样就是刚好是相反的。And from Sal, she said, my life has been rich for meeting people around the world. I think it's a very good sentence. And from table topic, enjoying in working, because we're enjoying something, so we don't need to put the 介系词 preposition. So I can just say enjoying working or enjoying my work. And alternative career, alternative means we have other choices. And alternate is renewed, the different meaning. He alternates between hope and fear. That's all for my grammarian.
Thank you for sharing us about your dream life during the whole meeting. You can tell everybody's dream was different. It's very different, especially different age. So people also change your dream when like you are young or getting older, different time, different. Like 10 years, like 20 years ago, internet become popular, change our life. And also smartphone 10 years ago become popular, change our life. Now COVID-19 change our lives. So sometimes we are looking for what is our dream life. We forget something present, something. It's all about now. Sometimes what we have to do is enjoy now. Don't look at too far and forget enjoy the time. Life is just like a journey. I just hoping everybody can enjoy your journey.